Almost made me lose my mind 3 times. Struck out with 3 lines of fastballs and sinkers. But I bet my knuckleball makes you eat your sandwich with a straw. You draw in the picture, and your mind's fix your image. And in it put a brother and a sister. Irritating the older brother, doing something sinister. Still in this holy book he was writing.
And welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. We have the full family with us from the movie REM. Hey. So again, we have the franchise, Mr. James Gordon. We have Matt Snead, who plays Miles, the lead character, and we have his mom, who plays Esther, Miss Montrice Eileen. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
She be hogging the covers. Tell that part.
Hogging the covers.
Hogging. 3-4 covers, and she got 3-4 covers.
Hilarious.
I gotta figure it out.
Okay, so I love to get to know my guest a little bit more. So I'm going to ask each of you to tell us and the viewers something unique about yourselves that not many people know. I'm going to start with the franchise, Mr. James Gordon. I love how that rolls off my tongue, by the way.
Too.
I just want to be clear that I love that, the franchise.
And you do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm really appreciative of that, for real. I love to bake.
Really?
I love to bake. I have a magnificent peanut butter and chocolate brownie that is just, I love to bake.
You're going to make for me after we're finished, all right? Everybody heard that,
It's
right?
one of those things, when we were growing up, before there was the advent of video games and they were everywhere, I grew up with Atari. No judgment out there. I grew up with Atari and Sega and all that stuff. But my grandma loved to bake, and I would be right there with her. So I love to bake cookies and cakes and all that type of stuff.
Nice.
Nobody know that.
And it was bonding time.
I don't mean I'm baking and listen. If you ain't fine, I ain't baking nothing for you. I'm a TV star. I ain't gonna bake nothing for you. Man. But if you fine, then we'll work something out.
Franchise cookies.
Cookies. I like it. I like it. All right, Mr. Snead.
I make music, comedic music mainly, but I've been doing it since high school. And I started with this song called Let It Fro. It was a spoof of Let It Go from Frozen. And there's a video somewhere out there hidden of me wearing a fro and holding a fan to my face and hitting some high notes. And yeah, I mean, it'll never be released to the public.
We need to release that. I need to see that.
It's like release the Snyder cut, but release the Matt Snead cut,
And you said your names were...
my artist name, it's Darling Dewdrops is my my comedic album name.
Darling
we just released
Dewdrops?
We just released a Valentine's Day album called Dewy Little Sounds of Love. And then Galifeo is my, it's like a combination of like serious and comedic music. But yeah.
Okay. And Galifeo, Galifeo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Darling Dewdrops, 2 words.
You can find it on most streaming services,
See,
nice.
I told you he's up in that room doing something.
Up in there making music.
At least it's artistic.
It is.
I
was worried about it.
And Ms. Montrice, what about you? Something unique about you?
Okay, well, I don't know how unique it is, but my reasoning behind it somewhat is. What a lot of people don't know about me is that I actually lift weights.
Really?
I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder or anything. It actually stems from about 10 years ago. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, which is, it affects your muscle, muscle development and things like that. So I started doing it just as a means to fight the disease. And I've been very successful with it, having multiple sclerosis. That's one of the things that people don't know I have it until I tell them. And, so I'm blessed in that regard. But yeah, I lift weights.
Indeed.
Hey,
Come on.
Hey,
Come on.
get in there.
Okay, so I love that though. That's dope. So what was it like being a family in the film REM? What was it like, because you guys come from 3 different backgrounds, so what was it like meshing that together and creating that synergy to create the family?
It was very easy.
Really?
Definitely.
Because the communication was open. We all were learning each other, learning our respective roles and skill sets that we brought to the respective production. So it was really, these guys, I mean, hey, they were dope to work with.
Yeah,
Nice.
It really was. It was, once we got the initial meet and greet out of the way and we got into it, it was really like we were a family.
You want to add anything?
Yeah, I was gonna say, okay, also commenting on the opposite father thing, I met him the day after we first met. I think it was the church shoot that we first met.
Was it the church?
I think so.
No, our first time was at the studio.
The studio,
Yes.
yeah. That's when we first met. And then I think church that we really got to talk and meet each other. And then I remember I was like a little nervous to meet him because I was like, okay, I already made this bond with her. And then we had a scene in a car together. And I just remember we were going back and forth talking about our experiences with acting. And it was just like, yeah, it was cool. Like it felt like I was just like, talking to like a friend almost, and then it became like, I think as the days went on, it's like, oh, we really got into like this father type role, and you know, but yeah, it started, I feel like it just eased into it, you know?
Nice.
Wasn't that the day before Halloween? Was that Halloween, the day before Halloween? All the people were coming down the street.
Yes.
Oh, that was so. We're sitting in the car, and these people, it's loads of them. It felt like a Stephen King movie happening because it was all these people, and they were coming down the street with all these kids in costumes and everything, and they were just coming down the street in the stream. I was like, oh, they trick or treating during the day, and we had a chance to interact.
Nice.
That's really cool.
And of course,
Yeah.
my first time meeting James was, we were in the kitchen and I was making him
Was
dinner.
that our first time?
Yes, that was our first
No.
meeting.
Yeah, that was our first scene.
Yes,
where
I was making him dinner.
yeah.
Right.
Way to a man's
Get in
heart.
there, better get in there and give me that turkey pot pie. Shoot. I worked hard all day.
Too funny. So, what was the most rewarding takeaway from this production for each of you?
I would say all the relationships I made from it, and of course, like, yeah, just the memories from it. It's a very fun experience, I would say, overall.
And for me, the one thing that I learned, and this actually goes to one of our locations, when we walked into the studio, there was a big sign that said "Dream in Color." I took a picture of that, and it has just stuck with me the whole time. You know, dream in color, dream big, don't think anything is out of reach. But, you know, as far as the cast and crew go, this is, I consider Branford and the whole team, this is my base. This is, no matter, you know, I'm claiming big things for
Absolutely.
myself, but no matter how far I go, no matter how big I get, this is where I really got my start, and I'm never going to forget these people.
That's wonderful.
The camaraderie was really obvious on what was my last day of shooting. We were downtown in a hotel room, and it was dark. They were trying to get the lighting right for it. We were trying to figure out, we were trying to be quiet at the same time because it wasn't supposed to be for that, but we all worked it out, and everybody took their turn tagging in, tagging out, and it just showed the cohesiveness from start to finish that we developed. It was really easy to do that because I've worked on some productions where you got to work to create the synergy.
Yeah.
We didn't have to work for that. It was effort. It's led by
Nice.
that man right there. So
Effortless.
awesome. Yeah.
Effortless.
Yeah, it
That's a
was.
great word to describe it.
Yeah, and
Okay.
if I could just add one other thing
Absolutely.
that I didn't know it at the time, but what I have come to understand, we had a shooting schedule. When I tell you they worked that schedule, everything, I've come to know that that's not always the case.
It's not.
Not always the case.
Definitely not.
That is not always the
Definitely
case,
not.
but Branford said, I need you here at this time, and you're going to be wrapped by this time.
We're going.
That's
Boom.
what
Boom,
you can
boom,
set your
boom,
clock
boom.
by it.
That's
It
dope.
was a level of professionalism there, even though we had fun. You know, it was a fun set, a fun, you know, everybody was bonding and we were happy, but it was professional and it ran like clockwork.
Nice.
I think that's why we were able to have fun because we were money. We were on.
Yeah.
Like you were
Yeah.
supposed to do this. You were supposed to be in this spot. Everybody was waiting. If it wasn't your turn in the scene, you were waiting close to the scene or watching and
Right.
giving support to the other actors who were in the respective scene till it was your turn.
Nice.
And that's not always the case.
Nice.
So yeah.
Black excellence, right?
Yes,
indeed.
That's good.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
good. That's good. Okay, so I gotta know, what was the funniest moment on set? Do you have any? I know the movie was kind of serious, but it
the
has
British
to be.
accent.
Oh.
Oh my God!
we were shooting. This was that same scene where I was making James, I was making dinner for the family, and not to really give it away, but Miles was, acting a little.
He was
silly.
acting out.
Yeah, and so we are having this back and forth, and we get to the end of the script, and I think Branford was so into the scene, he forgot to yell cut. So Matt was sitting there and he felt like he needed to say something. So all of a sudden he's talking with a British accent.
It was supposed to be like a cutoff scene, like in the script. It's like a line. It says like, it's like, well, I just don't know why and then I was like waiting for like cut, and then they just kept rolling. They were just behind the scenes like, and I'm like, I just don't know why I should keep talking because.
And so being in character as his father, I said, hey, stop that. And he turned around and said, I will not. What?
So I refuse.
Oh
and I'm
my
just standing there
God.
like, when did this kid start talking British?
Maybe they'll keep that take,
I think it should. I think it should make it to the cutting room floor, okay? Okay, and then, so those were the funniest, but do you guys have any favorite moments or something that made a huge impression on you during the shooting of REM, rather?
That Sunday, every day was on point, but it was something about that Sunday. We started early, and I think, was I released before you were, or did you go?
That Sunday at the house?
Yes.
Yeah, you left before I did.
Okay, so, and then they kept going on. And of course, him being the lead character in the film, he, of course, had longer days. And that comes with with the territory.
Right.
But that day, and you're sitting around and you're waiting for the other scenes to get done. And you're interacting with crew and they're talking to you. And now there's no separation. Like in some sets, there's a separation between cast and crew. This wasn't that. We're talking, we're laughing, we're talking about scores and all types, because it was a Sunday. And it really flowed. And it really felt like a close. We sat down and we had pizza and stuff and laughing. And it just felt like a closeness. It's one of those times where you say, man, I really don't want this to end. It's a gig. You understand that. And everything has its duration. But you didn't want it to end because this was it. And shouts out again. And I don't mean to keep saying good stuff about you, dude. I really don't. But I got to tell the truth. That's the way I was raised. For and a lot of films that are independently made have one setting. There'll be one setting, and they'll film everything there. And there's no diss on that. That's just the nature of the thing. We were in multiple settings throughout our great city. And so when you see it, it's going to play out like a feature film that you would think has this big budget, and he put that film I lost it. For him to put that together, I was trying to say something with my ACT words, but it escaped me. But when he put that together, that was awesome. So
I think I was gonna say that day was great. One of my favorite days was the church shoot, because I was raised in the church, and it was just cool seeing they cast an actual pastor to play a pastor in it, and he gave a full sermon, and we listened to it a couple different times, and it never really got old, because he would always he kind of replicated it each time on point, but it's each time I would catch something new, because I'm supposed to be doing actions during the scene. They'd be like, okay, Matt, turn around when he says this phrase. And so, I'd be doing it, but then he'd be like, and then Joseph said this. I'm like, that's kind of deep.
New revelation.
Yeah. But that day, I think that day as a whole was just it was fun, because I got to meet a couple of the actors that day too. So it was, yeah.
And your favorite?
My favorite scene, there were so many, but I think my favorite scene was also at the church, but not so much listening to what the pastor was saying. The pastor did good, but my favorite scene was there at the church, and it was after the service, where I was in a scene with Shayna, the other mom. The other mom, James. She and I were talking, and Miles' girlfriend was there also. So it brought a lot of humor to the story, because, she and I were kind of tag teaming, checking out the girlfriend and embarrassing Miles. So, that was fun for me.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
One of them scared me. I think it was the other mom. She yelled something, and then I looked over quickly, and then they everyone burst out laughing. I was genuinely scared. I know I'm supposed to fake being scared, but yeah, my heart stopped.
Where's Branford? I hope we get a blooper reel because I'm interested in seeing all of this happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and so without giving any spoilers, okay, what about this story makes it a story that needs to be told now? What makes it relevant to where we are or something that's going on in the world now?
The advent and the advocacy for dealing with mental health. This overlaps right into it. And it makes you understand, and it has no, it doesn't discriminate. Age, gender, or ethnicity, it doesn't discriminate. So you get the pull out from this.
Nice.
Yeah, James stole my answer.
He stole it?
He did.
Sorry.
Because, definitely though, just to piggyback off of what he said, it's mental health and more specifically with our youth. Our young people are dealing with a lot these days. And as parents, we have to be more aware because you hear people say all the time, oh, the kids will be fine, they're resilient. And that is sort of crippling them because we just assume they're going to be okay and we don't address it.
Right. Yeah.
I think also to piggyback off the piggyback was
We got a lot of piggies in here.
there's a topic of religion in there that I really resonated with, and it's just I like the fact that it's this character having questions and they actually it's just having that open community to talk to and whatnot, which that was something that I was grateful enough to have growing up, but it wasn't something I discovered immediately. It was something as time went, the more I got outside of the church and went to public school and whatnot, I realized, there's people I can
lead a child in the way that he should go, and when he is older,
he will
not depart from it.
Love that. Okay, so have you guys heard any of the music from the film?
No.
No?
So I said that. I wanted to make sure I said that
Real
with
loud?
the attitude.
Okay. Give it to me again. Have you heard the music?
No.
No.
I heard one song.
One song?
Yeah.
What about, you played,
I
right?
performed one.
You performed one. What is your motivation? Well, you know what? I think we should give.
I don't feel too bad now.
I think we should give the viewers a treat as well as you guys. So let's take a listen. Where's that wonderful PA we were talking about? Ben? Where's the real MVP?
Ben, it's your moment.
Ben, it's
Yeah. So we're going to take a listen. Okay.
So that was Kendrick Lamar's new song. He made it for this film, actually.
Really?
No, that's me.
Look, I'm I was going to say, so was that you?
He was running your ass.
That was Josh wrote and directed Adonis and I, and so those were Josh's lyrics, and
Who was playing?
I don't know who was playing.
That'll be a question for Branford.
Yeah.
But I do love the
Your cadence.
and just the genre mixes of the hip hop with the jazz, and it can reach a bunch of different people. I love that, and you had a nice little flow going.
You did.
I heard you.
Look, my baby got talent.
He got talent.
I was worried about you, boy. You got my hopes up now. I ain't got to send you off nowhere.
I got you, Pops. I got you.
One more song.
Another song.
Okay, let's get into it.
All right. Oh, all types of surprises
Right, all
when,
types of
when you
surprises.
show up. Okay.
You haven't heard this one?
He wakes with the shakes, bewildered, hand quivering. Was the image that he witnessed tribulations from the sins of men.
That was dope.
Yeah.
That was
Contrast. I mean, the contrast. And then I'm a visual dude. So on both tracks, respectively, I could see portions of the film where that music. You know how the clips come in. Good films. This is a bit of a diss. So those of y'all who do this in your movies, pay attention. This is important. Soundtrack songs and the music for the films are supposed to be a quick blurb, especially if someone's getting ready to start their dialogue. If someone's walking, driving, then you can play it all the way out, or whatever. So when each song, I could see portions of the movie and they applied. And I was like, oh man, this is amazing.
Nice. So it goes back to that seamless word that
Yes.
we said, that effortless word,
Okay,
that it all just kind of
all right,
melts
so
together.
I was right when I said about you. Okay, all right.
I actually do remember that song, and I know exactly, at least from what I was told on set, I know which parts they're supposed to be on. So.
So it makes sense, right?
Yeah, it makes a lot
Oh,
of
so
sense.
you got the cheat sheet.
Right.
The cheat.
I mean, he is the lead character. I mean, when you're the guy who's been there, you didn't have a day off, right? Am I right?
No, I had a couple days off.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a few.
Really?
Days, yeah.
I could have sworn every time I looked on the call sheet, there you were. We got the email. It was you.
Hey, it's hard work and it's hard work being the lead. But
Yes,
Yeah.
hey,
I feel
listen,
like you handled it.
get what
though.
you.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
I
He
feel like
did.
you handled it.
I think that the cast really, like, the supporting cast and the directors and the crew, like, they made the process a lot easier. Like, even the hard days, you know, it was like, you had those people, like, I think, having you guys there on the,
Yeah, I know.
having you guys, oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, from what I saw in the scenes that we were in together, I have no doubt that for the, the other scenes where I wasn't around for, I know he did his thing.
He did his
He
thing.
He did his thing.
But I am super excited to see all three of you in this film along with the rest of the cast. So again, now for real, do we have any more songs, Ben? All right, I think we're in the clear. I just want to thank you guys for sitting down and giving me an insight into the film REM and also an insight into yourselves. I'm excited for it to be released and I can't wait to see all three of you along with the rest of the cast on the big screen.
Yes.
So thank you again for joining us and thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll be back soon with more cast members from the film REM. Stay tuned.
Peace, what's going on, y'all? I'm glad that y'all reached to this point. This is the end.